But when I think of the 75 years that the FR Bigelow has been around, I think of the fact that we have made both investments in nonprofits that are responding to the needs of our communities. In addition to that, we've also invested in some really key signature projects along the way. In more recent memory, that's been investing in organizations such as the St. Paul Riverfront Corporation, who many years knew about the assets of downtown St. Paul. In addition to that, we also were part of the Central Corridor Funders Collaborative, supporting all the amazing work around housing, business mitigation, around the development of the $1 billion Green Line. And then, of course, in more recent years, we've also invested in addressing the education gap with our Numbers Work and Words Work program, which became embedded into regular school curriculum. And for me, I'm really proud of our Linking Leaders work, which is really many years ago at the board level, we realized the need to really invest in growing leadership here in the East Metro, especially growing diversified leadership. So Linking Leaders does this work. It invests in some key networked organizations that are supporting Black, Indigenous, and people of color leaders here in the East Metro. The 4 organizations that we fund, the African American Leadership Forum, the Coalition of Asian American Leaders, Latino Lead, and Tiwahe Foundation, have been doing some really great work in the community, or they were emerging and starting out themselves. So it's been really neat to invest in them. And no doubt we will see those returns here in the East Metro for years, if not generations to come. As I reflect on my chair experience in 2021, it was a lot of figuring out what is truly the added value of our investments. How do we want to think more strategically about our investments in community? And so the past year has been a year where we've done a lot of introspective evaluation, looking and thinking about our strategies, with the hope that in 2022, we are able to get our arms around this a little bit more too, so that the board members, all 12 of us, will have a good sense of the investments we're making and the direction we're headed towards. So when I look back at 2021, I think particularly in the organizations from our recent history that we were giving out general operating funds to organizations that were doing work here in the East Metro. A lot of it was direct service organizations, a lot of it to economic development organizations who really just needed the funds to respond to the needs of what's happening in the pandemic. There are still ongoing economic development projects, which is still really important because communities are still rooted in place, particularly here in the East Metro. So we have to be supporting organizations that are doing housing work, that are doing small business development. One of the other big investment areas that we made in 2021 was supporting out of school time programs and programs still working in the field of education. We know we will see the impact in a couple of years of what this working remotely has been. I know as a parent, I have definitely seen the impacts. And so I'm grateful to the out of school time programs and the other programs that are working to build education capacity so that the racial equity gap amongst children of color and white children don't continue to grow here in the East Metro, because we know what the gap means in terms of overall regional, well-being and competitiveness. As I think about the FR Bigelow's goals to achieve racial and economically equitable outcomes, I really think of our investments in Black, Indigenous, and people of color-led arts organizations. I know they have reached into emerging artist communities that we would not have contact with otherwise. So organizations like New Native Theater, certainly the Seed Project, even longstanding ones such as the Penumbra Theater that we've invested in, means that we are investing in them to harness the amazing talent of local BIPOC artists, creating more racial equity by really investing in the artist communities that are able to do that. I want to, from the bottom of my heart, thank all the amazing nonprofits out there doing this work, dealing day to day with our communities right now when there is such high need. I know you are all exhausted. I know you're all burned out. We are so grateful for you and for being on the ground. And we're grateful we can be that additional support level to help you do the work that needs to be done. Again, thank you.